Hey guys, Chris here, and it's Cetia week in War of the Visions. So I thought that I'd wait. What? More? More the merrier? Merrier than what? Okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait one more week to get Cetia, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through with this video in order to give you everyone a little bit of time to think about what we're gonna talk about in this video, because I do think that it's a really great time to start a new account. It might be one of the best times ever to start a brand new account. So if you're thinking about getting into the game and you're watching this video, or you have a friend or family member or somebody you'd like to introduce to the game, the time to get into the game is right now. Do not wait for Final Fantasy VI or the 2-year anniversary. Well, I mean, it's next week, but you know, you guys get the idea. First, though, I wanted to make sure that everyone remembers to stop by the Justin and Friends Clash of Communities PvP tournament this Thursday, presented to you by the Amazon App Store. We will have post-op Oron J and Palladia emceeing the event. And wait, who's that? Who's that on the guest list there? Who is that? It's going to be a lot of fun, so please remember to drop in and participate in the stream. The more events and participation we have like this for War of the Visions, the better it's going to be for the game. In addition, Amazon is back with their 20% offer on Amazon coins for this event. That means when you use Amazon coins to buy yourself some nice things in War of the Visions, you can save big. So even if you're passing on more, make sure you don't get less. That's right, we got puns. Take advantage of this offer and you can stockpile Vizor for things like Final Fantasy VI or the 2-year anniversary that's coming up. As always, you can use the link in the description below to help support the channel. Keep the lights on around here at Nerd Night. We would really appreciate it. Now on to some juicy stuff. And if you guys remember back last summer, I made a video series showcasing the charisma and wit of Oron K, but more importantly, it was a good time to start a new account because you could reroll for Charlotte and Frederica, and then a couple weeks later you could pity Cloud from Final Fantasy VII to have a great start to an account with Mono Lightning. I think we have an even better opportunity for new players and accounts when Cetia hits us next week, so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. To summarize, starting an account during Cetia's week, with some patience you can reroll your starting account until you pick up Cetia plus King Mont, or Cetia plus Glacial Regalia. Then in about 4 weeks, when Final Fantasy VI comes around, you should be able to gather up all of that juicy Vizor and have enough to grab Terra from Final Fantasy VI. There's also some other small things you can do, like picking up Luartha from the Mog Shop and Rain with your new player select ticket that can make this even better. I really think as a new player, you'd have an incredible starting team here, and I'm going to walk you through some of the basics on how to game plan for this. The great thing about this is that by about day 50, you're going to have just a fantastic team. You should be able to clear pretty much all PvE content thrown at you and be decently competitive in PvP just, you know, within like 2 months of starting a new account. So step 1, that's going to be re-rolling your account to get Cetia. And real quick, the basics on re-rolling is when you first download the game and you open it up, make sure that you choose guest when the account binding shows up. You'll want to eventually bind your account when you get what you want, but you do not want to bind your account to anything on Google or Facebook just yet. From here, I'm not going to walk you through the entire re-roll process, but basically, if you don't get the units that you want, in this case Cetia, you go in, you delete the game files from your phone. Some people may have to uninstall or reinstall the game. Just follow the same process. Seeing as how I'm making this video a week before the banners come out, I'm not sure if there's going to be other banners that you can pull on here or step ups or anything like that, but if Joom's banners were any indication, you're probably just going to have to get lucky really early on while pulling on the main banner. So what does early on mean? I'd probably collect maybe 10,000-12,000 Vizor from some of that starter stuff and then just go for it. If you don't get Cetia and King Mont or Cetia and Glacial, just restart and try again. Now the big fat behemoth in the room here is that Cetia is cost 100, and so are King Mont and Glaciella. So they do have 1/2 drop rates. This means your odds of getting what you want compared to other times in rerolling probably aren't that great, I'll admit, but I'd be shocked if you didn't have to spend at least a few hours rerolling to get this type of account to pull 2 of these units. But trust me, it will be worth it in the long run. If you're super uber crazy guy, you could actually reroll until you get all 3 of these units, but I do not recommend that at all. This will take an absolute toll on your sanity The last note I'll make on this is whether or not you should be going for Glaciella or Mont to pair with Cetia. And honestly, I don't think there's a wrong answer here. If it were me, I would just re-roll until I got either one and move forward, because I suspect it's going to be difficult enough to do just that. If you're going to be picky like Ralphie's little brother in Christmas Story, go for King Mont. King Mont will be able to serve as a tank in any team, whether it's fire or not. He's one of the best tanks in the game. Glaciella's amazing too, but great tanks are a little bit harder to come by, a little bit more useful right out the gate than magic nukers. Okay, we'll assume you got past the hardest part. You picked up Cetia, you picked up King Mont. What's the next step? So the good news is everything from here on out is absolutely guaranteed. So locked and loaded, put it in the bank. You can do everything once you get past the re-rolling process. Real quick, you'll have a bunch of UR shard tickets and select tickets that you get from the beginner shop and login bonuses. Just hold on to these for now. Do not use them. We're going to talk about those in a little bit. But your first goal is going to be maxing out Cetia while she's on banner. And if Jume's banner was any indication, you'll likely only have 1 week to do this, so you'll have to be pre-active during this first week. Your goal in week 1 is going to be get Cetia to max level. That is it. The way you do this is by heading over to the shop. You buy her shards whenever they show up. They will also have 40 shard packs for 2,000 Vizor that can help you do this a lot quicker. For those of you who are new to War of the Visions, buying unit shards for Vizor is actually a really good value, unlike a lot of collection games where you can spend premium currency on unit shards where it's not worth it. War of the Visions, it's absolutely worth it. You can do this. So grind through the story as fast as you can. Go complete some of the easier missions in the far plane for tons of that Vizor and beginner's Vizor. You're going to get some more from the beginner's hall. This will allow you to keep buying shards. And as a new player, you should be able to collect plenty enough Vizor to max her out. You'll need 600 total shards to max her out to level 99, and then another 400 to go from 99 to 120. This is the most important step of starting a new account. Get the current banner unit to level 120. Max out the current banner unit. In this case, we're talking about Cetia. So after the first week, you have a level 120 Cetia and not a whole lot else. That's okay. Take the next 3 weeks, learn the game a little bit, join a guild, gather up some friends so you can start getting guild medals, friend medals, grind as far as you can through the story, and save your Vizor. Now, the only exception to this is going to be the week after, in week 2, the week after Cetia launches, there's going to be the vision card. This is the Brachio vision card in Esper. Make sure you pick this up. There's going to be a thing called a 5-step-up banner. You can get the vision card guaranteed for 10,000 Vizor. You should have enough for this card if you've been pushing through the story in the far plane missions. Note that this card is not limited either, so you don't have to max this out right away. I'll just say it's probably a good idea to do it while it's still on banner. Get it to 99 in week 2. Overall, it should cost only about 15 or 16,000 Vizor to do this. And again, if you're not starting on this Cetia week, if you're seeing this video later, almost always they'll pair characters with vision cards the week after. So try to plan to pick up that character and their vision card and max both of those out as quickly as you can. That's what you'll be spending your Vizor on in the first couple of weeks. So during weeks 3 and 4, try to gather up enough guild medals to purchase either Luartha or Giza if you don't already have them yet from all your beginner pulls. Personally, I would recommend Giza. I know I put Luartha's picture over there, but Giza's TMR, the bells, is pretty necessary for almost every account, and you probably won't need Luartha right away. She pairs really well with fire units and Cetia, but I would prioritize Giza first, then Luartha. Another unit you should build is MR Mont. He's an earth unit, he's a tank. You can buy his shards for Gil in the shop, which you should be doing until you have him maxed out. He will help you complete a lot of the PvE content while you're waiting for Final Fantasy VI to roll around. Now remember, those UR shard tickets that you got from the beginner shop and logins, if you don't have Rain by now, he's a pretty good choice for that UR select ticket. He's a fire magic tank. He makes a lot of PvE content pretty trivial, especially with all of the fire stuff that you're going to have on your account. For the shard tickets, there's going to be some tickets that you can use on cost 100 units. Make sure you use these to grab shards for either King Mont or Glaciella, whichever one you have. and raise them up to level 99. There will be other UR shard tickets that cannot be spent on cost 100 units. Use these to bump up Rain to level 99. Lastly, during weeks 3 and 4, you should almost be done with the story, so make sure you scour the far plane, multi-quests, complete as many missions as you can, hard quests, shard quests. You're going to need all of this visual for the main event, which is of course Final Fantasy VI. And you're going to get Locke for free. That's great and all, but the lady you're really going after is the one and only Terra. While it's still speculation, it's a pretty safe bet that there's going to be some kind of system in place to pity her for 40,000 visual. So you need a minimum of 40,000 to guarantee that you'll get her. You might get her before 40,000 if you're lucky. This is going to be your target number, 40,000 visual. The good news is that this event will also last a couple of weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks, like many of these collaborations do. So you have a little bit more time for logins and things like that to gather up visual. So you can slack just a little bit and probably still hit this mark. If you do your summons for Terra, you pick her up. You want to make sure you pick up the vision card you see there too with the Magitech walking. This is called Omen. Just like Cetia and the Brachio card, make sure you max out Terra and this vision card before this event is over. To finish up, this is what your account could actually realistically look like after just 50 days of playing the game. So you'd be well on your way towards having one of the best, one of the better mono element teams in War of the Visions, and be able to hang with very experienced players even in PvP, especially once you get really good gear and vision cards as you move forward. Be on the lookout for any of the fire vision cards that you pulled as well with all of your beginners pulls. This includes Phoenix, King Mont's card, or Encounter of Heroes. You see the pictures of those in the bottom right. If you do manage to grab any of these, make sure you start farming their shards in the hard quests right away. I'll finish on this. The great thing about this approach is that having a team like this right out of the gate frees you up to do a ton of things that you want to do in the future of the game. Means you already know that you have a locked and loaded team. You can go for units that you want from new collabs when they show up. In general, you can have just a little bit more fun with the game because it'll be easier to complete content, and you don't have to stress as much about being like underpowered or anything like that. Let me know in the comment section below any additional tips or tricks you guys might have for new players or new accounts, or any thoughts you might have on this team and this process. I'd love to hear them. I really do think this is one of the best times to start for new players since the start of War of the Visions, if you're able to assemble this team, which is pretty scary. Thanks for watching, guys. We will catch you next time.